Well, I wanted to... God, sorry, that was a good start. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the fourth episode of our Semi-Hollows build series. So I have Todd on the call on standby. Todd, how are you doing?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm excited about this one.
I am too, man. We're going to get straight to the footage, you guys, and show you what it took for us to get the guitars to a finished state. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you after the footage. All right, you guys, we've got 2 guitars. I could not be happier with how mine's turned out. I can't wait to see yours, Gio. I'm going to kick it over to Gio and let him show you guys what he has built for this series here. And I am so excited to see this thing. So Gio, let's see it, brother.
Okay. And I've already seen yours because I've seen the pictures, and my God, it looks awesome. Now it's finished, and with the hard wax, what happened to the maple on your top just looks fantastic. But we'll have a talk about that. Okay, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, that's killer, man. The back looks all nice and creamy. And there was a certain point when you were holding it, turning it around like that, you could see the reflection off of that hard wax. Man, that is lovely. And I love that stacked heel thing you've done. It looks great as a contrast up against that bodywood with the binding on it. Really, really nice.
Oh, thank you. So that is that's the Avancol was what I used for it, and I didn't think I didn't show on the last video the way that I've carved that in, but it's completely carved in so that it's flush to the body. It feels absolutely lovely to play. I'm really happy with how the finish turned out, and I'm just actually really happy with the overall look of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I love that. It looks like it's a little on the thin side too, which I really like. You know, how thick is it?
It's 44 mil, so it's not really thin. Yeah, I think it's because yeah, and I think it's because it's double bound. I think that's what makes it look a little bit thinner, because the binding's just under 6 mil thick. Okay, so for your rule, we had black hardware. So I've used Kluson top locking tuners, which I really like, and I've used these a few times now, and I think I'm going to continue to use them because they're so easy. I prefer the top locking to the rear locking tuners, and I think they're also a bit lighter, which is really good for anything. I've got the black strap buttons, I've got a black hip shot style bridge, black knobs and switch tip, and I switched the pickup covers because these were cream P90s, but I switched those to black, and I think it works really well actually with the wood. I mean, I know that we established the rules right at the start and we chose the wood around the fact that we were going to be using black hardware, but it's still a relief when you get it all on there to see that it does work well.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, man, I think either of our guitars would have worked with chrome hardware. You know, I mean, I think it would have looked good, but I really believe the black, especially on yours, knowing that you use that black limba, I think it really ties the whole design in together, and black pearl for binding. I just really think that's a killer, sleek look.
Thank you. And it is, I mean, it's pretty monochromatic compared to yours, you know, because it is, if it wasn't wood, then I just made sure it was black, whether it was the binding or the tuners or the pickups or what. But I did want to do that just because I think it keeps the whole thing looking as clean as it and as simple as it possibly can.
So electronic wise, what pickups, what pots, what cap and all that stuff did you use? Pickups mainly.
Well, the pickups I've used, I had a set of Tone Rider vintage 90s that have been sat here for a couple of years that I wanted to use because they get really great reviews. I really like the bridge pickup. I love it, in fact, and I've probably in the last couple of days played this for about 15 hours. I think I probably just need to adjust the neck pickup a little bit more because it's slightly muddy, or I might need to, after I've adjusted it, if I'm still not completely sold on it, I'll need to swap it out. But the bridge sounds absolutely fantastic. It's only when it's driven, by the way. If I play them clean, both of them just sound wonderful. But when it's really quite driven, especially through the Vox, the neck pickup can get a little bit muddy, I think. That's my own opinion anyway.
That's an inherent problem. Placement on a P90 neck pickup is so important. I think even more so than a humbucker or a single coil or a Filtertron or anything. I think a P90 is so much more susceptible to mid and bottom end based on the placement, how close it is to the end of the neck and all those things. I know everyone thinks about that when they're installing neck pickups and everything, but I've found throughout my building journey anyway, that a P90 neck pickup can absolutely get a little dirty and muddy.
Yeah, and I kind of treated it in a similar way to the single coil. The only difference is that obviously with the P90s, these are they're semi-hard mounted, so they're mounted on the fairly hard foam, which means that you've really only got a couple of mil of travel up and down. So I did measure it when I was assembling the whole thing, but I think on the treble side, on the neck pickup, I probably need to come up about another millimeter, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is quite a lot when it comes to the sound of it.
Oh, it is. I think that'll probably brighten it up. And like you said, if it's clean, when you're playing clean, that's the real test, you know, that's the real test. Because if you drive even a clean channel with a P90, if you drive it a little bit, a P90 is going to get gritty. You know, I love that.
I do too, and the bridge just growls. I mean, it's so good. I know my amp anyway is kind of it really kicks the upper mids and the high frequencies, but with some P90s and the whole thing just cranked. Man, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I think a Vox is almost custom made to play a P90 through, man. You know, it's like a P90 amp, you know. They should have just named it a Vox P90.
So that's my guitar, Todd. Let's have a look at yours.
Well, first of all, man, that is something else. Let me ask you one more question before we move. What value did you use on the pots? Did you go with 250? Because I know that's a big debate.
I used 500s and a 33 microfarads cap. So I think what I might do, because what I haven't done yet with P90s is to test a few different capacitors. So I think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'll change. I don't think I'll play around with the pots and stuff, just because from what I've heard already, I really like the sound of it. So I don't think I need to change out and experiment with the pots.
No, I wouldn't think so either. A 22 microfarad cap may get you that bright end if it doesn't make the bridge too harsh. So I know we said earlier in the series that we were both trying to stay below 8 pounds on these guitars. Where have you ended up at as far as weight goes?
I did end up below 8 pounds, surprisingly, because I was skeptical right at the start using this ash, but I came in at 7.5 pounds.
Man, if you can keep a guitar at 8 pounds or less, even 8.5 pounds, if you're using like extremely heavy woods, I would have expected yours to come in a little bit more weighty than 7.5 pounds. You removed a ton of material though.
I did. I took as much as I thought I could possibly get away with out of the ash. Okay, so it's time, Todd. Let's take a look.
All right, here's mine, you guys. This is the Astrolabe. I've got Wingate back, front. We've talked about that. I ended up making a curly maple cover for the back, and I engraved my logo on there, or a logo, not my logo. I couldn't get it to work on the laser. Ash body, double bound. There's my neck heel carve that I've done, and I beveled. You can see where my binding stops right there. I kind of finessed that in so I could get a little bit more comfort back here where the heel transition goes, you know. That's really important to me on a guitar. I spent so much time wondering if I was going to get that to work, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, actually.
I think that was a really good idea, what you did on the back, to cut off the binding where you did and to taper the heel in a bit more. And in retrospect, I should have done something like that. I mean, I'm quite happy that mine is comfy, but that is a better idea of doing.
Well, you know, it's just kind of one of those things it's become so important to me. I've never been a fan of the Les Paul neck transition. You know, I don't like that hard edge that's on the back where the neck meets the body. So if you guys ever see me build a Les Paul, it'll have a carved neck heel on it. It won't have a traditional Les Paul. I don't do traditional builds anyway, so you guys know that.
So you've used hard wax, right? We both used hard wax.
I did. I used Osmo. I did 2 coats of extra thin wood wax to begin with, and then I used 3 coats of Osmo Pollux satin on this guitar. I love Osmo. It's my go-to oil finish. I love hard wax oil in general, but the reason I like Osmo in particular is because the Pollux oils offered in matte, satin, and gloss sheens. And I have all 3 of them. I love all 3 of them. Osmo produces completely predictable results. I love that stuff, man.
I'll tell you what I love. I love what it's done to that maple strip on the body. Can you hold that up for the camera just in case we haven't had a close-up of it? Because the flame in that just exploded under the hard wax.
It did, man. I am so happy with that, too. I was worried about that. You know, I debated on whether or not I should add some color to this guitar, but we said no, you know?
No, and I think that was a really good choice, because knowing you and knowing how hard it is for you to restrain yourself to go with just a natural bit of maple up there, but I don't think it would have worked. I honestly don't with anything else. If you'd have picked another type of wood or something contrasting, I'm not sure that the neck and the body would have actually come together as one kind of cohesive design.
I agree, man, and I was trying to really keep this, you know, you mentioned monochromatic on your guitar. I was really trying to go with natural on natural, but hard contrast. I did the same thing on the fretboard. You know, I've got that curly maple fretboard, and in true Sweet Tea style, I did use some glow-in-the-dark fret markers on the 12th, you know, and the side dots are also glow-in-the-dark. They're almost invisible in the daylight. You can see them good enough to know where you are, but they glow aqua blue at night. You know, it's really cool, man.
It is, and I love that 12th fret inlay. What did you do for hardware?
I use all Shaler stuff. So it's got a Shaler 3D6 bridge, 2 Shaler speed knobs. I use Shaler Da Vinci tuners with white pearl buttons, and I am an absolute fan of these tuners, man.
They are the best looking tuners ever. They look absolutely fantastic. And I've got the, you've got the black ones with the pearl knobs. I've got the chrome, and I just love them. I'm saving them for something that I make for myself, because when we keep going through these things, and I keep saying, no, this one's going to have to get, this is for sale, this one's going. Anything that I've kept is stuff that I've made a mistake on somewhere, or that I can't sell. So those tuners are staying with me.
I get that, man. The way I feel about it is, and I battle this on every guitar, you know, debating over whether or not to sell it. Now, I can't keep them all, I understand that. So I think what I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to sell it, but I'm not going to sell it tomorrow.
What did you do for, I'm assuming that you used some pickups from Bill Taylor, right?
I did. Sonoran custom wound pickups. They're hot P90, so I say hot, they're not super hot. The neck pickup is like 10.5K. The neck pickup's like 9.5K. I haven't plugged this guitar in yet, so I don't know what it sounds like, you know?
You haven't? Are you kidding? You haven't plugged it in?
Man, I didn't finish this build until 11 o'clock last night, so when I got done with the strings on it, I was so excited and so amped up. And I've got my amp and everything down here, but I was so tense, and yeah, it would not have been a good idea for me to start playing guitar at 11 o'clock last night, because I would have never made this call this morning. Anyway, I haven't plugged it in yet, but I'm sure I've tested everything and everything works. I just haven't plugged it in yet, because I know it's going to be a 4-hour journey once I do, you know.
It is, trust me. I sat there. We both do our setups exactly the same way. So we do like a 90% setup, and then just tend to leave it for a few days, and then we'll come back to it and actually finish it off. So I did my 90% setup, and I thought that's good enough to just take it in the house and have a bit of a play. And I did like 4 hours worth of playing, and came back down the very next morning, and I thought I'm going to get the whole thing done, because I really love playing this one. So I got the final setup done, and spent another few hours just just playing away, and I love it. I think it's partly because I've got a new amp as well, that thing sounds fantastic. Yeah. But the combination of the two of these is just awesome. And when you said that you'd use Bill's pickups, that's one of the things. I think I'm going to be nice to Tone Rider and say that I do like the way that the bridge pickup sounds. I'm fairly convinced that I'm probably not going to love the neck. So I think either way, because I'm going to be selling these, I'll either sell it with whatever pickup somebody wants me to install, or I'll either order a bare knuckle set or some from Bill, because I know he makes awesome P90s.
He does, man. I used the P90 neck in the Dark Corner giveaway guitar, and Bill made both those pickups for me. He based the bridge pickup, which was a standard Tele single coil, but it was a hot based on a bare knuckle pile driver. And then the P90 pickup that he made for the neck, that was my favorite Tele setup ever. I've been happy with every set of Bill's pickups that I've used so far. So, you know, after I use up the 25 pickups I've got in the shop that didn't come from Sonora Custom Wound Pickups.
Todd, you've got more than 25 sets of pickups in that shop.
Well, 25 sets may be more like it. I say 25 pickups. I probably got 25 sets of pickups. I think we have done a really great job on these, man. I think both guitars turned out so killer and so different. You know, they're both so different from one another.
I do too. We always land in really quite different places, but I think our initial brief, which was classic semi-hollow, I think they both land very firmly in that. I don't think either of us have not hit the brief, but we've definitely landed in different places. And we said previously, one day we're going to make guitars that the other person, one of us is going to make a guitar one day that the other person doesn't like, but that's not today.
That's not today. Just from doing this with you, I have learned so much about restraint and how important it is to plan things through and stick to that plan, how to overcome obstacles and recover from mistakes. It's invaluable, dude. I love it, man, and I really want to thank you again for inviting me to get involved in that first collaboration. I don't see myself ever tiring of this, you know.
No, neither do I. I'm going to be really happy to just keep going with these. We've got so many ideas that we've already talked about that we're going to get to. And thank you, by the way. And I think you do. I think you do a much better job than I do at just rolling with the punches. If something doesn't go exactly your way, then you come up with a solution that actually looks nicer than your original plan. And I know that I don't do that, and I can't do that. I said to you before, I don't pick up a tool until I've got every single part of the build planned. And if something goes wrong, I really do have a problem, because I've got an idea from the start, and that's exactly what I build. And that's not, and I really do appreciate that's not a very artistic way of doing things. So I do need to be more of your mindset, I think.
Well, man, you know, I think one of the biggest draws to this, not just for us, but why people like these videos, is that this whole thing, talking about this, planning it from the beginning, knowing that we're both having to stick in a certain little area of guitar building, I feel like that's probably done me way more good than it's done you. Because you talk about how I just roll with the punches and recover from it. But the reason I'm that way is because all of this is about me learning to be a better builder. And I know the way to do that is to figure out how to fix your mistakes and make that, sometimes you make it as a feature over, you know, trying to hide something or whatever. But sometimes it just causes you to rethink the entire build. And I relish those moments, you know. To me, you say you don't pick up a tool until the whole build is planned. I don't start the build until I pick up a tool. If that makes any sense, you know. The build's not, I don't plan anything, you know, other than my initial vision. I just let that come into my head. I try not to write anything down in the very beginning other than scale lengths, technical information. As far as woods and stuff like that goes, man, to me it's a brush and a paint palette. That's what I see.
You know, well, we both go about things our own way, but the end results speak for themselves, I guess.
All right, you guys, so there we go. We got two beautiful guitars. I'm so happy. I know Gio's happy with his. We both love each other's guitars, so that's good. We were successful this go around. I'm thankful for that. As most of you guys know already, we mention a couple of builders in every video that we want to shout out and show some support for, that have been supportive of us and who are also doing pretty impressive things for the Great Guitar Build-Off. So Gio, who's your guy you want to mention this week?
I thought it'd be quite nice to mention Dan this week, because he not only has he been a really good supporter of ours, but he's also doing what I think is his first scratch build, and he is remaking, well, firstly he's doing a Revstar style build, which I love. I just really love the design of that guitar, and he's already built what looks like a fantastic neck, but he did say he just was not quite happy with the quality of the neck, and he's going to completely remake a new neck. And I know both you and I really admire that kind of mindset where if it's just not good enough, you're going to remake it, and that's exactly what he's doing, and I really admire him for doing it, and it's a really interesting video to watch. In fact, the series is interesting to watch, so I highly recommend going over to Dan's channel and checking it out.
Awesome. And I agree with that. Good enough almost never is. You know, I got like 10 necks sitting over in the corner ready for the burn pile, but I can't bring myself to burn them because I want to harvest the truss rods out of them. You know what I mean?
We've all got our fair share of those. I've got a pile of good enough stuff that will never ever leave this shop.
Yeah, good enough never is. Yeah. The guy I want to mention this week is 13 Stitches Magazine. He shouted me out on a video a couple of days ago, and I had not seen any of this guy's videos. Well, that sparked me to go over to his channel and check out his Great Guitar Build-Off project for this year. I was so impressed with it, you guys. He's doing a paint job. He's made a 4-string bass. I think it's a 4-string. But the paint looks fantastic. He's a super nice guy, super cool. So you guys get over to 13 Stitches Magazine and check him out. I also wanted to remind everyone about the Guitar Builders Collective live stream on Thursdays. You guys make sure you check that out too, and get over to the Guitar Builders Collective website and the YouTube channel to check out all their content.
Well, do you know who else I did check out, and I hadn't seen his videos until you'd mentioned him on one of our videos, was Jackson, Big Unit Guitars, and he's building that Flying V. Man, he is absolutely up against it. Have you seen how hot and humid it is where he is right now?
He's in Iowa, which most people, you wouldn't think of Iowa. You know, it's rolling hills, cornfields mainly in Iowa, and it's hot. But I live in the deep south, so normally I don't equate Iowa to being hot like it is here. But obviously I'm wrong, because when I watch Big Unit's videos, Jackson's always like, "Oh my God, it is so hot and humid here, man." And he talks about the science behind how much moisture corn produces in the air. I had no idea.
I know, and I saw that, and I was feeling sorry for myself in the last video that we did, because it was like 42 degrees, which is like 107, but the humidity is nothing like what he's putting up with. My God.
Oh no, man, and Jackson's such a great guy, you know. He's been so cool to me on my videos, and I was happy to mention him, and I hope he's picked up some subscribers because of it, you know. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. We got one more in this series where we'll do the sound demos, and I promise you guys we're gonna do it this time. I had a blast doing this so far. I hope Gio had fun. I'm sure he did. I hope you guys will continue to come check out the channel. Don't forget to head over to Tornella Guitars and check out all Gio's content as well. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, peace and love.
Well, I wanted to... God, sorry, that was a good start. Well, right.
Oh man. Well, you know, you said it in the first video, consummate professionals.
Consumer professionals.
The outros are easy part for me, you know. Plus we're loose now.
I know, so professional.
Oh, I meant to tell you. I know this is probably going to spark some outtakes, but I ordered Scott a Prometheus pencil.
Of course you have.
I didn't see any other way.
Has your wife got shares in that company? She should have. She should at least have stock in that pencil company. Which one do I have coming?
You've got the Pentel Graph Gear 1000. I could not find a Prometheus Pro that would get here.
Ah, the famous Pentel Graph Gear 1000.
The famous Pentel. And I even got it in your size. I know you like a 0.7 millimeter, so.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Yeah, I'm me.